controlling those early, but he can also just straight up assassinate someone, which is so critical. So if the game is slow-paced, a lot of freedom to farm up later on in the game. But Afrika, you know, I mean, this Lucian is going to be decent in the late game, but the Aphelios and the LeBlanc really crushing this lane, and it's going to be really annoying for Kana. Not as bad as the J Trundle here, and really shut.
As we can see, the mid lane, Faker and Fly just trading back and forth, but Fly
start here for Faker. Nice hook.
Yeah, hook going to connect onto Carrier there, and Carrier's going to try his very best to turn this one around. Of course, Braum pretty strong in the early level. It did come towards the top side and stopped that one from being a reality.
Keen, is he going to try to stop this? No, it will be Dread who does that. He sees it immediately. He's like, oh no.
Yeah, we're going to have to use some mist pretty effectively, but it's not actually going to do anything. That's first blood so easily. And now will be, as there's the Realm Warp. Teleport to immediately come in. That's a very early pillar to come through as Fly teleports in. Flashes forward, looks for Faker. Not going to be able to do anything there. Goes back to both of his distortions just to make sure. Lahen's going to find a hook. Flay is going to miss though. Sidesteps the Winter's Bite quite nicely. Fake the Trundle is going to turn up. Keen knows
they see it.
To be careful, but he now has that flash. Back available, you can see the level lead starting to look pretty crazy.
This is really hard for T1 to win if there's a group up, but they catch Fly. That's more than half of his health bar gone here. So maybe this is actually doable now because Owner has done so much damage to the Herald already.
Faker going to flash before Dread's able to get that kick through as in goes Fly once more, but now doesn't have the distortion, finds the mimicked version. As now Fly, with that fake version of himself, is able to get himself out of the way. Leo's here and in position as Shelly is going to reset. Kana, who's moved on over, it's going to be okay. Keen's at full health though, and he is a giant. See what they can actually do. The culling is available. Severum, the Crescendum and the Calibrum are up here for Leo, so we can do a lot of long-range damage. Kana now trying to get Snippy, and they landed onto Lahen's. The Super Mega Death Hook comes through, and the ulti from Leo is not going to land. T1, they group up and get the job done. Gumayusi with the double. In the end,
Gumayusi coming up as a hero. Vision of this Faker does not.
Yep, no flash available either as the chain misses there from Fly.
That's the end of that, should be. Look at this wraparound. Dreadsource is coming up here for Afrika. Look at the rotation from Lahen's.
Yeah, and you can see Afrika are like, they understand that they need to be as secretive as possible as Carrier doesn't put up the door. And now Dread finds his way in, finds the Q. He wanted the kick. Flashes for it, as you can see, Keen gets exhausted. Dread safeguards to get on top of the Lucian. And now the rest of Afrika, they dive in on top of Ono. They're able to grab that kill. Dread very close to falling down, and they save Afrika's. They play this one out as the Rift Herald is going to be put down on the bottom side. I believe that was actually starting to run out, as now it's got a bit of a walk before it gets to the turret, but they will be able to get it in there. As Dread trying to get on top of it, but the charge will come through. And that is plate gold going only to Owner. So they wanted to give that to Gumayusi, but they're unable to.
Realistically long enough to feel like they could rotate over, and the same has unfortunately been true for T1. They haven't had enough prio on top to feel like they can have a jungler there to smite.
And both of these teams not really looking to make the proactive play, as we can see, as the hook is going to go wide. Kana trying to get out of there as Keen. He's managed to make it. They're going to be able to lock down this outer turret. That's going to be first.
Lahen's is here, but I don't think Lahen's can make anything happen. In fact, it's Owner and Carrier trying to make the play here onto Keen.
Yeah, and they actually have so much vision. Afrika are up here towards the top side, so they know what's going on. They are going to give up this outer turret.
Keen has flash, so he's
totally
fine.
Keen just sidesteps Carrier. Really like that. Takes himself the Lantern, as the Realm Warp is going to be okay, taken by a couple of minions.
That was a really nice
there for a second.
Yeah, a really nice reaction from Keen, just in case they did take it. He was like, it's going to be a really nice opportunity. Unfortunately, the timing isn't great. Really razor thin right now. And T1, I mean, if they get a pick, they easily get opportunities to really take a nice lead.
There is another great Unbreakable from Carrier, saying absolutely no to the culling.
Yeah. 1 minute to go.
Certainly. Okay, Leo going to get blocked there by Dread. Really nicely played just to make sure that the Aphelios is going to be fine. Hook is going to connect onto the Rift Herald as it's taking a lot of damage. Does eventually get the charge as Kana's rotating around. The turret keeps itself alive for a little bit longer as Carrier is going to go in. They take a bit of damage from Keen. Not going to be too much. The unseen Lucian is the deadliest, as Faker's going to rotate up. Dread's going to find him. There's the kick flash. Actually avoids the piercing light damage, so slightly unfortunate there as Carrier gets in there, and they immediately get rid of Dread. Faker's going to be okay for a little while, but the Moonlight Vigil will be able to lock him down. As Kana tries to find some needlework, but doesn't get it here. Onto Afrika. We'll be able to charge up a few of them, but not going to land.
We were talking about a lack of proactivity from Afrika in game 1, but this is not what we had in mind, to be this aggressive. You had a free opportunity, you had Drake prio, but you got greedy, you wanted even more. And yes, it is a trade, but the trade doesn't favor you because you don't get the Drake anymore. And now T1, better chance. Now this is something that there is absolutely no vision of whatsoever for T1. They have no idea this is happening.
Yep, they're going to get some vision over there, and there is the blue trinket. And so T1 not going to let this one just slip away. Fly's in the bottom lane with teleport right now.
I think they just want to set up a trap instead. Fly has teleport, Faker does as well.
The hook just barely missing as Kane looking a little bit tasty right now. Takes the lantern, gets to safety. Danger.
Faker just waiting to teleport in if he needs to.
4 days!
27 minutes later, we're still waiting.
Yep, as Kane just really likes putting the culling into an unbreakable.
I mean, it still does a lot of damage to Carrier, to be honest. Even though, you know, he blocks the majority of that, he ends up going down to half health as this happens. So,
yep,
that's going to really hurt how much he can frontline here. Drake's up, so Afrika looking to set up for this. They have a really nice arc.
Kane has to be careful. He gets himself out of the way.
The arc that's set up here for Afrika is really nice because they can not only, you know, threaten to collapse in, but they can also just rotate over to Baron if T1 do commit, and that's exactly where they're headed right now. Look at this
After
one
game
ward.
number 2, Afrika just hate Cloud Drakes. They do not want to take them. They lost the game because of it last time. They're not doing it ever again.
That one ward
is a unit trying to get over here. The Drake is taken by Faker, but he's got Realm Warp, he's got Teleport, he's got a lot of ways that he can get through. As Kane gonna get snipped, he's stuck inside, but he's still able to click the lantern. Snips come forward. They do manage to take down the Lucian, and then immediately Canna goes golden. But look at this Aphelios damage. He's doing a lot of work. You saw Ona threw down the Subjugate. That was onto Leo, so that's going to get him some health back. But they do manage to make their way out of there as Afrika Fly off to the side. Is going to get slowed down, but will be able to keep himself up for the moment.
I mean, just that one kill onto the Lucian gives so much pushing power to T1. They want this inhibitor. They're going to get the turret at least here. They know Fly and Dread are on the flank, but I don't think it's going to be enough to stop them. This should be the inhibitor going down.
Yep, Lance has now put the Lantern on cooldown as well. If they do manage to get the inhibitor, Fly looking for an opportunity to get in. The mist does go down. The distortion takes him. He is 2 kills. Was able to pick up that last one onto Keen as well, able to get some revenge. Must have been very cathartic. Still behind by a lot, but I mean, at the T1 don't decide to start this Baron. They just don't have enough information. They know that Fly and Dread are missing, and they know where they were most recently, and they do see now and confirm where Fly is. But T1 are starting to get to the point of this game where, I mean, look at the Jinx items. They can actually rush this Baron down if they get an opportunity to get on top of it. Well, a lot of things just appear in that pit as Dread is going to get the kickback onto Faker. Now we've got a teleport to come through. Let's see whether they can actually get this. He does have the Zhonya's complete as Fly gets out, but Keen, he's not going to be so lucky. He's stuck in there. Super Mega Death Rocket finishes off the kill as Realm Warp is going to come through as well. That's going to bring Gumayushi over.
I was like, some sunk cost fallacy here for Afrika, Atlas, I think.
Yeah, right.
They were like, well, we waited this long, we might as well just all in on Faker, and his Zhonya's just outlast literally everything, allows T1 to punish. Now they have a man advantage for this Baron.
Well, Hook is going to connect there onto Carrier, but of course Carrier is okay with being hooked. That's a great Rune Prison onto Fly. He's denied the exit, but the it's not going to be enough to get them out of the way of the distortion. We have a look down at the items. Gumayushi has all of them. As many items as you would ever want, even a couple of control wards there.
Yeah.
And at 32 minutes here. And T1 able to fish.
Here we go. Fly seen, though. They know he's here, and I don't think he knows that. He does now.
Yeah, Distortion, of course, able to get himself out of the way, so not going to get punished too much, but T1 still, they're going to make the map very, very dark. Dread wanting to come on in here, but that's going to be the ult invested onto Lehans. Hook is going to bring Carrier back as another culling comes through. Carrier very close to falling to that one. And the Subjugate's even invested.
Yeah, he's essentially dead, you know. I mean, he has to back off here. He cannot really rejoin this fight. So he survives, but he won't be around. So this now becomes a 5v4 opportunity for Afrika to rush over and take that Baron. Just not confident enough to do it right now. They're looking to force a fight instead, try to bait a fight here. You should.
Yep, they're going to. Immediately, vision goes down for
Carrier's
T1.
back. He's not. It's no longer a 5v4. He's here.
Yep, the box comes in. Okay, so they have vision. Can they actually get in there, though, is the question. Is that Realm Warp was not exactly where I was expecting it to be, but it might just be the end of Lehans, as it is going to be a trade of supports, but Keen's already dead. Leo has a whole lot of survivability, but just not enough. and T1 roll over the top once again. They'll now start off the Baron, and I think finally this game has officially turned into a T1 big advantage.
It's definitely a huge advantage for T1 now, and Afreeca had so many opportunities to make a choice, right? Either commit, hard engage onto somebody after you set up that brush, or rush down the Baron. They made neither choice. They stay in the brush for a little bit.
Right now, the Jinx is absolutely gigantic. And Dread is just going to be spotted. He's going to be able to use the ward to get himself out.
Fly does have his death cap now, so he is going to do tons of damage when he does decide to go in here. But unfortunately, this positioning here is so good, and Owner is just guarding Faker so well that it's really hard for Fly to actually close the distance and go in there.
As Cannon is actually a little bit too far forward here. That's real dangerous. Okay, Leo with his...
A lot in this late game. You know, he's just always under threat, and if he gets slowed or caught by a pillar, he just dies or has to use all of his cooldowns, and he's not useful for when T1 continue to push. The positioning from Owner has been really good in these splits here.
No, it's been fantastic.
Look at all the wards that Afreeca have to commit.
Okay, that's a hook onto Carrier. He's going to die immediately. Fly tries to get in there. Gumayusi down to below half. And Afreeca will save their inhibitor.
Just do it again, rinse and repeat, but there's just so much threat of getting CC'd or getting rooted.
Oh, that
Here we go.
Pretty nice onto Owner, but it's not going to be damage that sticks, unfortunately.
Dread was like, I really wanted to ult him and get that pick. Then we could 5v4, group up for the Baron in 90 seconds, you know, get that vision control. But right now, there's just no control for Afreeca whatsoever. State of the game.
I mean, they should have prio anyway, right? Like, based on the 7,000 gold lead that they have right now. Like, this is T1's game to lose, but I can't shake the feeling that maybe there's just going to be that flip as Dread. Okay, he's going to be able to take the Lantern out. Fly gets towards the side, but he has Distortion to get himself out of the way. Fishing now with these pillars as Canna diving forward, looking for a little bit more. You can see Leo getting dove on. Great kickback onto Canna, but look at the damage. Faker finally able to get in there. Immediately pops to Dread. Now trying to get out of the way, and it's Gumayushi's turn to get the hard carry happening. This is going to be the ace, and T1 will just be able to march down the mid lane and finish off this game.
What a great end to this game for T1. Soars a little wide, but Fly.
The super mega almost rocket.
Press the attacks on him. Is he going to get out of here?
Yeah.
Looks like the answer is yes. He actually can go back too if he wants to, but the Nexus is going to go down.
Yep.
T1.
Some say that Fly is still running away from T1, but we will never know as T1 do take down the Nexus. They finish off what